What is up, fellow mountain athletes? I'm Anthony LaRubio from here at Recal Training. I'm the founder and head coach here. High five for showing up early on a Monday morning. That is early if you're in USA Mountain Time. It is 8:04, which means it's the 29,031st second of the day, the equivalent of the height of Everest. I want to welcome you to today's Monday Breathwork Training session, especially those that are new to the live stream coaching here, and a special welcome to those that may be coming here from a webinar we hosted last week through Colorado Mountain Club. For those of you just getting to know us, our breathwork training programs have helped hundreds of athletes climb the highest mountains in the world and finish some of the most grueling ultra marathons. Whatever your goal is, I want to help you achieve that by breathing smarter and breathing stronger. We are wrapping up Altitude April here. That was the theme from this past month, which means that this being the last training of this month is going to be the most challenging we've had yet. So get ready. It's a 25-ish minute session. We're going to hit the ground running. Well, not literally running. We're going to be doing some walking, but expect to do a more intense breath assessment today. We're going to do some altitude simulation training, and we're going to end with a hypoxic breathwork training protocol, all to help kickstart making those adaptations in your body that are going to help you on the mountain. So we'll begin today's session in a seated position as usual, but on your way there, and just on the note of hypoxic conditions and whatnot, you can grab a couple of optional pieces of equipment. Maybe that's a pulse oximeter if you want to gauge your SpO2 levels at various times during today's training session. This provides some real-time feedback on the adaptations that you're starting to make. And secondly, you could grab a sports mask. That's a wonderful device that looks like this. We call this the suffering tool. No, it's good for making some additional strength adaptations in the body. That's going to help you in the thin air at altitude. If you don't have one of those, we can, of course, use the finger as our air resistance device. And lastly, if you've got a yoga mat and a blanket, that's nice because we are going to end, as we usually do, with a down regulation breathwork exercise at the end. That, of course, is after we go on a little ride with our breathing. Okay, so as you're making your way to that seated position, maybe you're grabbing those pieces of equipment. I just want to throw out one last note of caution. Today's training is only suitable for those in good health, without any heart conditions, and you are not pregnant, and you do not suffer from epilepsy. Yes, that's a longer list than usual, but today's session will include some strong breath holds plus movement. We're going to send our blood biochemistry for a bit of a ride here today. And if you don't feel that you're suitable for today's session, that's 100% okay. We've got other training sessions from earlier this month or just anywhere on our community platform, on our YouTube channel that might be a bit more appropriate for you. Yeah, so that is the cautionary note. Okay, hopefully by now you're in that seated position. Let's go ahead and begin as we always do. And by the way, if you want to if you've got any questions throughout today's training, you can drop a comment in whatever platform that you're watching this, and I'll hopefully be able to monitor these and be able to answer real time as well. So from that seated position, we're going to start as we always do with a little nose unblocking exercise. So with me, take a normal breath in through your nose and then a normal breath out. And at the bottom of that exhale, pinch your nose and hold your breath and rock your head back and forth. This again is called the nose unblocking exercise. We're just trying to clear up that nasal airway to help us breathe during today's session. Stay here for 3, 2, 1. Release your nose. Breathe in through your nose immediately after. Maybe you already notice more moisture starting to build inside that nasal cavity. We're going to do this 2 more times together. So let's take a normal breath in, normal breath out. Pinch your nose, hold your breath, rock your head back and forth. Just relax into this small breath hold. We're trying to reach a medium level of air hunger here. Stay here for 3, 2, 1. Release your nose. Breathe in through your nose right after. I'm going to sound a bit repetitive with these particular cues, but it's very important to breathe in through your nose right after that breath hold. It helps to bring in that nasal nitric oxide, which helps with gas diffusion into the bloodstream, as well as helps to dilate our blood vessels. One last time, take a normal breath in, normal breath out. Pinch your nose, hold your breath, rock your head back and forth. Here you can hold for as long as you feel uncomfortable. We want to reach a medium level of air hunger. So even if that's longer than I'm going to cue, just go for it here. If you're following along with me, stay here for 3, 2, 1. Release your nose, breathe in. Hopefully you feel like you're starting to clear up that nasal airway. Nice. So that is the nose unblocking exercise. We're going to move on now to a breath assessment. This is the most intense of our breath assessments. Again, as I mentioned, this is the last training of this month, which means we're taking the intensity up a notch here. This is called a maximum breathlessness test. And we're going to get up and we're going to move around. So if you're seated, as I had cued earlier, go ahead and stand up. The way that this assessment works is we're going to take a normal breath in, a normal breath out. Then you're going to pinch your nose and hold your breath, kind of like we did with that nose unblocking exercise. But after you pinch your nose and hold your breath, I want you to walk at a nice hiker's pace, is what I like to say. As you walk, I want you to count your steps. So you're counting your steps as you walk. Go for as far as you can. That's why they call this the maximum breathlessness test. And when you need to take a breath, take note of how many steps you actually walked. And that number is your personal maximum breathlessness test assessment score. Separately, I'm going to start a timer up here on the screen, and that is going to be a secondary measure for you for this particular assessment. So everybody, from a standing position here, take a couple of breaths here with me. Take a normal breath in, normal breath out, normal breath in, normal breath out. We'll do one more together. Inhale, exhale. And at the bottom of that exhale, pinch your nose, hold your breath, and begin walking here. Counting your steps. Go as far as you can on this one breath. Do your best to stay mentally sharp and don't lose count of your steps. And whenever you need to stop, go ahead and do so. Take note of your steps and the time that is on the screen. The time that's on the screen is just a secondary measure. Go ahead and shake out some things in your body. I know that that can be very intense. That's why they call it the maximum breathlessness test. As I said, this is the most intense of this month's training sessions. All right, nice job. Go ahead and write that down. Just take note of it as you go through your breathwork training. It's nice to keep track of maybe how you advance in these assessment scores. All right, we're going to do something now called Breathe Light. If you've joined a webinar with me, you've probably been coached on this. This helps to train our carbon dioxide tolerance, which will help us feel less out of breath, both when we're exercising and when we're up on the mountain. So from a seated position, go ahead and sit back down. You'll notice we're going to be going up and down, both physically with the body and through the mind and through the blood as well throughout today's training. Breathe light is very simple. It's exactly how it sounds. We're going to breathe lighter than we normally would. What this is going to do is invite a feeling of air hunger into the body. And we want to straddle that line between comfort and discomfort with that level of air hunger that you achieve. In order to do this, I invite you to take your pointer finger, place it just beneath your nose, resting on your upper lip. You can relax your shoulder to your side. Take a couple of normal breaths here, just to feel what that air feels like as it runs across your finger on the way in and back out across your finger on the way out. Once you get a feel for that air, start to slow down your breathing, so much so that you can barely feel the air run across your finger. Maybe that air that maybe previously was a bit colder going in, maybe you felt some warm, more moist air coming back out through the nose. Now that you're breathing slower, you can barely feel that anymore. Start to stay with that pace of breathing. You can either keep your finger here or you can relax it down to your side, but keep with that slow breathing pace to the point that you can barely feel the air as it comes in and out through your nose. And maybe at this point, you start to feel that level of air hunger, that feeling like you want to take a big breath. Maybe you're starting to reach that feeling. Do your best to control your breathing on the way in and on the way out, especially at the top of the inhale and the bottom of the exhale. Those are typically the hardest points in time of this breath wave. Stay with me for the next 50 seconds. Again, just to take a look behind the curtain here, that feeling of air hunger that you may have in your body right now is just the carbon dioxide levels rising in your blood. And what we are doing is getting our chemoreceptors more used to this level of carbon dioxide in the blood. That's going to help them to become more tolerant to it, which is going to help you feel less out of breath when you're exercising and up on the mountain. Stay here just for 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Go ahead and relax. Shake out the body once again. Take a couple of normal, maybe even bigger breaths than you were before. High five. Nice job getting through that carbon dioxide tolerance training. Now we are going to take it up even more. What we're going to do now is a high intensity maximum breathlessness test. So this is going to be just like that assessment that we did. However, we're going to do this 3 times in a row. The first time, we're going to do it walking back and forth in a circle, whatever space you have, use that. The second and the third times, you can either be going up and down stairs or a hill, or you can turn that walk into a jog. If you're tight on space, maybe just turn it into a stationary jog. So we're really going up. That's in rounds 2 and 3, though. And lastly, here is where some of those tools can come in handy. Go ahead and throw that pulse oximeter on your finger and keep it there for the duration of this particular exercise. Maybe glance at it just to see if you're changing your oxygen levels. And secondly, if you've got that sports mask, you can put that on. In rounds 2 and 3, I'm going to instruct those without even a sports mask when they come out of the breath hold to block one nostril just to really get that respiratory muscle strength fired up. And of course, by the way, if you don't want to do any of these adaptations, that's fine as well. All right, so from a standing position now, go ahead and stand up. We're going to take just 2 breaths together to center ourselves, and then we're going to be off and running with this high intensity maximum breathlessness test. So take a normal breath in through your nose and a normal breath out. Once again, normal breath in, normal breath out. Pinch your nose and hold your breath at the bottom of that exhale and begin walking. Maybe you've got that pulse oximeter at the end of your breath hold. Maybe take note if any changes are happening. I want you to go for as long as you can on this one held breath. You can do it. Get out of your head, into your body. Just feel your body move here. And whenever you need to take a breath, go ahead and do so. Again, if you're done with the walking, maybe take a peek at the pulse ox. We're here for the next 30 seconds or so to recover. When you recover with your breathing, what I want you to be thinking of is breathing through the nose, breathe slow/fully, and breathe low. We want to engage that diaphragm, get the air in the lower part of the lungs. We have 15 more seconds of recovery. I can go ahead and actually share a timer just so you all can follow along a bit better here. I will start the timer when we begin the next round. Here is your opportunity to either throw that sports mask up on your face, and if you don't have that, at the end of your maximum breathlessness test here, go ahead and block one nostril on those recovery breaths. And lastly, if you want to go up and down a set of stairs, you can do this. Just don't push yourself too far. We don't need any silly injuries on a set of stairs, right? I warned you now. There's no reason to go further than you can handle. Okay, let's go, everybody. Take one last recovery breath in through your nose and exhale. Pinch your nose and hold your breath and begin walking. I've got a timer going as a secondary measurement. Keep track of your steps as you go. We want to maintain mental clarity here. Go as far as you can on this one held breath. You're doing great, everybody. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. And whenever you need to, block that one nostril. Take those recovery breaths. This is challenging stuff. Really nice job, everybody. I'm going to start a recovery breath timer. We're here for the next 30 or so seconds. Maybe take a peek down at that pulse oximeter. After 4 or so recovery breaths, you can unblock your nose. We're breathing normally now. We're here for just 5 more seconds of recovery, and then we go again. I know this is intense. All right, everybody. Let's take one last breath in through the nose, out through your nose. Pinch your nose, hold your breath, begin that walking once again. I like to think that I'm getting out of my head, I'm dropping into my body, and I'm just feeling the rhythm of my body move through the stress of this breath hold. Go as far as you can. You're doing great. Whenever you need to take that breath, do so, but plug one nostril. Good work, everybody. We're here to recover for about 45 seconds. Maybe take note of any changes in your SpO2 on the pulse oximeter one last time on this exercise. After you're done with those 3 to 4 recovery breaths with one nostril blocked, go ahead and open that up and breathe normally. We're here for about 20 more seconds. If you stuck with it, great work. This is tough stuff, I know. Okay. That is our recovery. What we're going to move on to now is the final exercise of today's breathwork training session. Go ahead and make your way down onto the ground in a lying down position. As I mentioned at the beginning of today's session, a yoga mat might be nice. A blanket could also be nice. What we're going to do is something called controlled hyperventilation with hypoxic breath holds. If you've ever done something like the Wim Hof method, this is very, very similar. We're basically, from a lying down position, going to take some repetitive big breaths. We're here for about 30 to 40 big deep breaths. At the end of those 30 to 40 breaths, I'll cue you on the final breaths we take. We take one last inhale, one last exhale, and then we hold our breath after the exhale. You may start to notice a theme. Oftentimes, we're holding our breath after an exhale during breathwork training. You hold your breath for as long as you can. I am going to obviously not be totally aware of when you need to take a breath, but I'm going to generally guess. I will cue when to take a recovery breath for those that want to follow along with me. At the very end of your breath hold, that's the time to take a look at your pulse oximeter just to see if there's some changes happening there. And then we're going to go into one more round if time allows. I want to stick to our 25-minute time frame. If we've got time, we'll do one more. If not, we're just going to go with one nice juicy round of this. Okay, hopefully by now you've made your way to that lying down position on the ground. I invite you to place one hand up on your chest, one hand on your lower belly. This helps to guide our breathing during this controlled hyperventilation. As you breathe, first, I want you to notice that you're breathing into your belly, into that lower hand. Continue your inhale into your chest. And then exhale through your mouth. Just let the air go. Again, breathe in through your nose into your belly. Continue that inhale into your chest. Exhale, let it go through your mouth. We're starting this round right away. Breathe deeply in. Belly into the chest. Let the air go. Good. Into the belly. Into the chest. Let the air go. Good. Belly. Chest. Let it go. Hopefully by now you're finding the rhythm of this breathing. Continue at that rhythm. At some point in time, you might start to feel lightheaded up in your head. Don't worry, there's more than enough oxygen getting into your brain. This is just a reaction of this controlled hyperventilation. If at any point in time these feelings are just too strong and you want to slow down, go ahead and do that. No issue. Keep on breathing with me if you're sticking with it. We're over halfway through this round of breathing. You can do it. We're going to do about 10 more breaths together. Focus on pulling the air into the lungs and letting the air go with relaxation. Pull the air in. Let the breath go. Pull it in. Let it go. We're here for 5 more breaths. 4 more breaths. 3 more breaths. Last 2. Last 1. Deeply in. Exhale and let the breath go. And hold your breath after that exhale. Just relax your body here. Clear your mind. I want you to hold your breath for as long as you possibly can here. As you're holding, just observe your body. Maybe scan your body from your toes all the way up to your head, just slowly observing, maybe noticing any sensations happening in your body right now. If you're holding on to any tension anywhere in your body, Focus on that space and relax into it. Continue to try to hold your breath here as long as you can. I'm going to guide those that want to follow along with me to take a recovery breath in 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath in to recover. Hold your breath at the top. For those still holding, continue to hold until your own recovery breath. Maybe take a note of your pulse oximeter and that SpO2. It's quite possible we dropped significantly there. Hold this recovery breath for 3, 2, 1, and exhale that breath out. Come back to some normal breathing. Just noticing the air coming in and out through your nose. Maybe follow along with me for a little relaxing breath. Breathe in on a count of 4, 3, 2, 1, and out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale with me for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Allow your natural breath to come back. Gently invite some movement back into your body. Maybe rolling out your hands and your wrists. Maybe moving your feet and your toes and your ankles. If your eyes were closed up to this point, you can go ahead and open them and just notice the light flooding into your eyes. Maybe notice the colors around you. If you're lying down on that ground, maybe give yourself a big stretch up above your head. Give yourself a big smile. You did it. You survived today's intense, hypoxic, altitude-ready breathwork training. We are just going to do that one round. We are a little over 25 minutes now, actually. So I want to respect everybody's time in that. If you want to continue on your own and do a couple more rounds of that, great. I hope you could feel some of those challenges that we sent our body through today. Hopefully you feel what it's like to make some hypoxic adaptations in the body. For those of you once again joining us for the first time, I want to thank you very much for joining. I am extremely grateful. Once again, I'm Anthony from here at Recal Training, hoping that today's training session got you a little closer to breathing smarter and breathing stronger to help you achieve your goals that you have on the mountain. If you have any questions, you can obviously send it up into the chat or contact us on the community platform. I wish you a great Monday and week ahead, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you again next week. See you on Monday. Take care, everybody. Bye.